one way to make sure that you as a parent are involved in that monitoring or involved in those communications, that, you know, the team meetings are a great idea. I often tell parents, put some regular team meeting right into that IEP as a service so that you know not only are you learning what's happening at school, but they're learning what's happening at home. And that's important for the dialogue, because sometimes kids hold it together all day at school and they come home and they fall apart. And you need to be able to tell the school district, yeah, I know that you say that things are going well here, but when he comes home, he's falling apart and he's telling me it's not getting any better. And they may not know it's not getting any better. Right. But one much overlooked service that Julie and I like to talk a lot about is something called parent counseling and training, which under the IDEA is a related service. So if you need support in understanding your child's disability, understanding child development, understanding how to support your child's IEP, you actually are entitled, if it's appropriate, in the IEP to get parent counseling and training, and that may mean you're given some tools to know how to intervene and to support your that aspect of your child's IEP, which is addressing the bullying.
And so not only do you want your child to not be bullied at school, but you want them to generalize that skill into the community, into life beyond the schoolhouse doors. And so that's where the parent training can come into place, where you're learning how to do exactly what they're teaching your child to do at school. And I just love parent training for that reason. We've talked about this before. We think that parent training is misnamed because it almost sounds like you need training on how to appropriately parent your child.
Which is really not what it's
that's
about.
so not what it means. But it's a really great thing to take advantage of.
It is, and it's one of those things that, as I said, it's not done enough as often as I think it should be done in IEPs, and it's also important in this context to remember, and we remind parents and school districts of this all of the time, many kids who have disabilities are not just the target. Sometimes they're the student who is exhibiting inappropriate behavior and considered the bully. And just as for kids who may be targeted, we want to make sure that the IEP of the child who might be doing the targeting is addressing inappropriate behavior, aggressive behavior, impulsive behavior, things that may be resulting in that kind of a bullying situation. And those kinds of situations, very often the parents do need to know, how do I support this outside of school? Because I have no idea how to intervene when I see this at home or when I see this in the community.
Right. And so the point is that once you've set your plan in place, make sure you come back to make sure that it's working. People are continuing to give it the utmost of vigilance, and I think that's just good practice.
Yeah.